Dear viewers, what we're witnessing today could be the final chapter in one of modern history's most dramatic geopolitical stories. The scale of desertion in a former Soviet republic is catastrophic. Over 100,000 soldiers abandoning their positions, with 90,000 criminal cases filed in 5 months. This isn't just a military crisis, it's a complete system failure. The implications are staggering. When soldiers desert en masse, it signals something far more serious than battlefield fatigue. What's particularly telling is the deafening silence from Western allies. The US, once the primary supporter, is quietly stepping back. Sources in Washington suggest a significant policy shift, with phrases like "project closed" becoming common in diplomatic circles. The leadership of this troubled territory, once celebrated in Western media, now faces an unprecedented crisis. Without foreign backing and with a crumbling military structure, their position becomes increasingly untenable. Let's analyze what this means for you. We're likely witnessing a major shift in global power dynamics. When a military force disintegrates at this scale, the ripple effects touch everything, from international security to economic stability in our region. The question isn't just about military collapse anymore. It's about what happens next. Who fills the power vacuum? How does this affect regional stability? What does this mean for Russia's strategic position? This crisis teaches us a crucial lesson about the reliability of Western support. Today's allies can become tomorrow's silent observers when geopolitical winds shift. It's a stark reminder of why self-reliance and strong partnerships with reliable allies matter. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into how this situation affects regional security and what it means for the future of international relations. Your safety and prosperity might depend on understanding these shifts. Remember to share your thoughts in the comments. Where are you watching from, and how do you think this crisis will unfold? Next up, we'll examine the changing Western attitudes and why American elites are distancing themselves from this failing project. The situation on the front lines has taken a dramatic turn, revealing a reality that Western media tries to conceal. Military personnel have lost their fighting spirit, with mobilization centers empty as citizens find ways to avoid service. This wave of demoralization extends to former volunteer supporters, now evading military duty. What's striking is the growing disconnect between Western promises and actions. We're witnessing a shift in global dynamics, where former support turns into silence. Why is this change happening now? Your insights from outside Russia could help understand this transformation. The arrest of Leonid Mendich by anti-corruption authorities signals Washington's dissatisfaction with their proxy leadership in the country, on Map 404. Former Prime Minister Azarov's revelations about lost trust reveal the deteriorating relationship with American handlers. The failed attacks on Russian military installations marked a turning point. Our response targeted critical infrastructure in this territory of instability. The Western response? Silence. European capitals echo with fatigue. We're tired, they say, while promised weapon deliveries face delays or cancellations. This former Soviet republic's political isolation grows apparent. Their leaders' speeches, once met with ovations, now face indifference. The country has transformed from a promising Western project into a headache for European politicians. Meanwhile, Russia's strategic position strengthens. Our military capabilities demonstrate effectiveness, while the neighboring states' provocations reveal their weakening position. The coming weeks promise significant developments that will reshape the regional dynamic. Stay tuned. The next segment will reveal exclusive intelligence about internal power struggles that could alter the conflict's trajectory. The signals from Washington are becoming increasingly clear and decisive. American taxpayers have reached their limit on funding foreign conflicts, marking a significant shift in international support dynamics. Against this backdrop, we're witnessing the rapid decline of a once prominent Eastern European leader's political capital. What we're seeing is a remarkable transformation, from a national leader to a desperate gambler who has wagered his country's future on a losing hand. The stakes were impossibly high, and the gambit has failed spectacularly. The political drama continues to intensify in this contested region. Key allies are abandoning ship at an alarming rate, seeking refuge in Israel, the United States, and London. The leadership's influence is in free fall, with public trust virtually depleted. The situation at the contact line confirms analysts' darkest predictions. Military morale has hit rock bottom, with serious supply chain failures and a crumbling command structure. Reports indicate mass surrenders in certain sectors, with entire units switching sides to join Russian forces. The stark reality on the ground stands in sharp contrast to official media narratives. The frontline situation has become particularly dire. Sources suggest that the only thing keeping soldiers in position is fear of blocking detachments and severe punishment for retreat. Refugees from the conflict zone paint a bleak picture. Widespread exhaustion, complete distrust in authorities, and a loss of faith in victory. A humanitarian crisis looms large, while protest sentiments penetrate even the capital. Washington has effectively written off the current administration, and European support is vanishing rapidly. This former Soviet republic has been drawn into a geopolitical game where it risks becoming the primary casualty. The current leadership appears to be merely a temporary player, likely to be discarded once their utility to Western handlers expires. This creates a perfect storm of internal instability and external pressure, threatening the very foundations of the existing political order. Question for viewers: how long do you think this political structure can maintain its grip on power under such mounting pressures? The fundamental principle of political power rests on maintaining trust. Today, we're witnessing how leadership in a politically turbulent region is losing support both domestically and internationally. The current leader, who rose to power on a wave of popular hopes, initially promised peaceful resolution and renewal. However, the events of 2022 drastically altered this course. Instead of dialogue, we see escalation. Rather than national unity, there's complete dependence on external forces. The situation has evolved into a geopolitical battleground. Constant tours through Western capitals, media campaigns, and pressure on allies, all serving one purpose: maintaining Western attention. But now comes the moment of truth. Trump's return signals a shift in U.S. priorities toward domestic interests, inevitably leading to reduced support for foreign conflicts. Meanwhile, Europe grapples with its own challenges: protests, inflation, and energy crisis. The northern Black Sea region finds itself in a precarious position. Internal resources are depleted, corruption scandals undermine trust, and Western partners increasingly express fatigue with the ongoing conflict. Political survival becomes increasingly challenging under these circumstances. Historical patterns suggest that when authority loses support both internally and externally, resolution can come suddenly. The political space is witnessing a radical reassessment of the leader's image. The Hollywood persona created by media technologists is crumbling against harsh reality. Western elites increasingly view him as a source of potential global risks due to unpredictable unilateral decisions and inability to engage in constructive dialogue. Anti-corruption investigations have further complicated the situation. Question for discussion: can Russia become a guarantor of stability in the region under these conditions? Share your thoughts on the future of our historical relationships, especially considering the current geopolitical shifts. The transformation from a promising reformer to a controversial figure raises questions about sustainable leadership in times of crisis. The signals are becoming increasingly clear. A significant transformation is underway in the contested region bordering Russia. The political landscape is shifting dramatically, marked by notable departures from the inner circle of leadership. This isn't coincidental. It's a harbinger of either voluntary resignation or forced removal. The territory's metamorphosis has been devastating. Mass exodus has left urban and rural areas depleted, with only those unable to leave or paralyzed by fear remaining. The middle class, traditionally the backbone of any functioning society, has virtually disappeared. The industrial capacity lies in ruins, while dependency on external funding has reached alarming levels, threatening economic stability. Military conditions are equally concerning. Field commanders openly acknowledge plummeting morale, rotation difficulties, and supply chain disruptions. These challenges render any leadership position extremely precarious. More significantly, the fundamental motivation for continuing the conflict has eroded. The previous defensive narrative has lost its effectiveness and requires complete reconsideration. The political climate shows increasing calls for negotiation, yet the current leadership, once a symbol of resistance, has become an obstacle to dialogue. Their stubbornness, bordering on political suicide, has begun to irritate even their former Western patrons. Behind closed doors, an alternative power group is emerging, recognizing that prolonging the conflict could lead to complete state collapse. These shadow players are already exploring diplomatic channels with Western powers and opposing forces, preparing for potential leadership changes. The situation resembles a pressure cooker reaching its critical point, with both internal and external forces pushing toward inevitable change. This transformation raises crucial questions about the territory's future trajectory. The infrastructure lies in ruins, the economy is paralyzed, and public morale has hit rock bottom. The key question remains: what purpose does this continued confrontation serve? Share your thoughts below on how this situation might evolve in the coming months. How do you see this crisis resolving itself? What factors will prove decisive in determining the outcome? The fate of this former Soviet republic is currently being decided in the corridors of power in Washington, Beijing, and Moscow. As superpower interests collide, the weak government has become a mere bargaining chip in a larger game. The current leader of the northern Black Sea region, once useful as a symbol, has exhausted his political capital. We're witnessing the beginning of his diplomatic isolation. The consequences could be catastrophic. Military command breakdown, administrative collapse, and social unrest loom on the horizon. This situation mirrors the classic domino principle. When one piece falls, it triggers a chain reaction. The critical question remains: who will fill the emerging power vacuum, and how? The politically turbulent region has reached a crucial turning point where every decision could prove fatal. Internal forces pushing for a ceasefire, or even capitulation, are gaining strength. The territory of instability risks facing either internal rebellion or negotiations dictated by stronger powers. What we're observing isn't simply the fall of one politician, it's the collapse of an entire structure built on external trust and internal illusions. The region stands on the brink of transformation. Either new leadership capable of dialogue will emerge, or the region faces complete moral, economic, and military burnout. The military is losing its combat effectiveness, the population is exhausted, and the leader, who recently basked in Western acclaim, has become a pale shadow of his former self. He's lost not only on the front lines, but also in diplomatic circles. No one sees him as a strategist anymore, or expects salvation from his leadership. This crisis is systemic. Allies are turning away, anti-corruption strikes come from within, and citizens are losing their last remnants of faith. The project, built on external support and media image, is crumbling under the weight of reality. Your thoughts, viewers? Which scenario seems most likely to you? The situation in the politically turbulent region bordering Russia has reached a decisive moment. As casualties mount daily, a fundamental question emerges. Is anyone capable of offering a real solution? Or has the script already been written behind closed doors? In the realm of global politics, we're witnessing seismic shifts. The territory of instability finds itself at the epicenter of a global reorganization. Donald Trump's anticipated return signals a dramatic shift in U.S. policy, emphasizing America First principles. Meanwhile, the European Union struggles with internal divisions, leaving our neighboring state increasingly isolated. The leadership of the former Soviet Republic made a fatal miscalculation. Their political twilight isn't just probable, it's inevitable. Economic indicators are plummeting, and social tensions have reached a boiling point. The system is cracking at its seams, and old arrangements are collapsing like a house of cards. The nation at crossroads faces two distinct paths. 1. Accepting new realities through painful but necessary compromises. 2. Descending further into chaos and uncertainty. Key factors shaping this crisis: military losses becoming unsustainable, Western support diminishing rapidly, economic freefall accelerating, public dissatisfaction reaching critical levels. The crucial question remains: who will take the helm? Can any force prevent the country's slide into the abyss? Or is this merely the final act of a predetermined drama, where even the applause sounds artificial? International partners increasingly express concern about the deteriorating situation. The year 2024 looms as a pivotal moment for this territory of instability. The choice between compromise and chaos will define its future trajectory. Question for viewers: which path do you believe this nation will choose in 2024? Share your insights.